The moral crime of gerrymandering. And the courage to end it. Gerrymandering is not a clever tactic. It is a moral crime committed with a map. By surgically carving neighborhoods, precincts, and even single blocks. Politicians choose their voters instead of voters choosing their representatives. The practice converts the ballot box into a rigged slot machine that pays out only for the House. In any other contest, this would be called cheating. In democracy, we are expected to call it redistricting and move on. We should refuse. Yeah. We should refuse. Yeah. Gerrymandering is a criminal act. Redistricting was founded on racism, and that's a fact. The ethical indictment is straightforward. First, gerrymandering weaponizes race and class, diluting the votes of minorities and the poor to manufacture artificial majorities. Second, it breeds extremism. When districts are pre-cooked 60 or 70% partisan advantage, the only real election is the primary, which rewards the loudest voice, not the wisest third. It silences dissent within parties themselves. Moderates are purged because compromise becomes electoral suicide. The cumulative effect is a legislature that resembles a private club more than a public trust, because the Supreme Court of criminal ban has largely washed its hands of the issue. Reform must come from the same place the abuse began. Political conscience here, Indiana's Republicans just offered the nation a rare model when the current mob boss president demanded that the state party endorse a slate of candidates who would pledge to overturn any election they might lose. The GOP chairman and a majority of the Central Committee declined. They rejected extortion politics in real time, knowing they would face threats and primary challenges. That moment, small on the national radar, was enormous in principle. A partisan body chose the integrity of the vote over the convenience of power. If a red state can defy its own ideological brand to protect democratic norms, then no state has an excuse. Eliminating gerrymandering does not require a constitutional amendment. It requires a civic immune response, independent redistricting commissions, transparent data portals, and open source mapping software already exist. What is missing is the collective refusal to accept maps that resemble cancer cells under a microscope. Voters, editorial boards, churches, and bar associations must treat manipulated districts the way we treat poison water, an emergency that shuts the system down until it is clean. The path forward is simple, though not easy. Adopt commissions in every state, require bipartisan or nonpartisan majority means to pass new maps and impose statutory penalties, including criminal liability for intentional racial or partisan packing. Make the act of drawing a district for the purpose of diluting someone's vote a felony, punishable by fines and disqualification from office. Cheating with a spreadsheet should carry the same stigma as cheating with a ballot. Democracy is a promise that the weakest citizen and the strongest cast votes of equal weight. Gerrymandering breaks that promise in ink and pixels. It is unethical, disgusting, and clearly cheating. The Indiana Go Peasant refusal to bow to extortion shows that conscience can still trump convenience. Let that courage spread district by district until the only lines we draw are the ones that connect neighbors instead of dividing them. There must be no negotiation, no polite delay, and no bipartisan hedge in eradicating gerrymandering. It was conceived in 1812 as a racial weapon masquerading as geometry. White majorities herding black immigrant and poor voters in the cartoon-shaped districts so their ballots would drown in a sea of pre-cooked margins. 2 centuries later, the tactic is still a disposable scalpel of supremacy, wheeled out every census to excise the electoral power of communities deemed inconvenient. We are the resistance, not a caucus, not a party, but the unbought conscience of the republic. We stand on the simple moral axiom that every citizen's vote must weigh the same on a scale of power. Against us huddle the cardrockers of corruption, incumbents who treat districts as personal fiefdoms, consultants who auction map-making software to the highest bidder, and legislators who swear oaths to the Constitution while tracing racial poison into its very lines. Their crime is not technical, it is existential. They nullify citizenship itself.
Therefore we demand statutes that criminalize intentional partisan or racial packing as felony, election subversion. Independent commissions whose meetings are live streamed and whose data is open source, and and federal preclearance that treats any district resembling a Rorschach blot of bias as presumptive evidence of intent to disenfranchise. Oh, anything less is collaboration with a criminal enterprise. Wrapped in a map shell, the state of our Indiana should become the norm.